Our society is deeply sick, and the latest example of that is actress and singer Sabrina Carpenter degrading herself on stage in Paris while simulating a sex act. It's been described as basically degeneracy to make money, and I concur with that. But I also am sympathetic towards Carpenter because I think she is being taken advantage of. I think she probably has deep-seated trauma that is causing her to do this. And I think she is obviously she's surrounded by people who are pushing her down this path to take advantage of her rather than looking out for what is actually in her best interests and clearly don't respect her as a person. So if you're unfamiliar with who Carpenter is, she starred as Maya Hart in the Walt Disney Company's Girl Meets World show, and she's currently touring throughout Europe on her Short and Sweet tour. And as I said, she degraded herself in a simulated sex act that was shared to X by user Call Me Marie Powell. I'm not going to show it here because it is disgusting and degenerate, but she performs a sex act or simulates a sex act known as the Eiffel Tower, where she positions herself between two male dancers on stage. Pop Culture Crisis host Mary Morgan reacted to the performance, describing it as quite embarrassing. I think that's an understatement. Mary went on to say, "You're also knowingly doing this for an audience of mainly children and mainly young girls. I think it's creepy that she insists on doing this. It's really a symptom of coming off the Disney factory line, that she is obsessed with sexualizing herself and objectifying herself." So lots of truth there from Mary's brief commentary. Obviously, she's pointing out how not only is Carpenter degrading herself, she's committing scandal by exposing this behavior to all of the people in her audience and trying to promote it as something that should be normalized. It should not. She should not be held up as an example. This is not something that she should be showing to people in the audience, whether or not they're children or not. It's a terrible example. And she also points out to the fact that this is a repeated pattern we've seen from people who have gone through this Disney machine where it literally chews up and spits out these actors and actresses. Lots of truth there from Mary in just that little short bit. And then Brett Desovic described Carpenter's act as basically degeneracy to make money. It's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. I obviously think there is that second layer to it where it is degeneracy for degeneracy's sake as well, to try to lead people down these various destructive paths, as an example. So, in my opinion, and I don't even think this isn't even really an opinion, it's just a fact, her act is an affront to the virtue of chastity, and as Mary points out, turns her into an object and degrades the dignity she has by being created in the image and likeness of God. It's also a major sign, in my opinion, that I think that she's a very unhappy person, given she is degrading herself. The Catechism of the Catholic Church says this: chastity includes an apprenticeship in self-mastery, which is a training in human freedom. The alternative is clear. Either a man governs his passions and finds peace, or he lets himself be dominated by them and becomes unhappy. I think it's obvious which path that Carpenter is currently on right now, by the fact that she's doing this sex act on stage. Furthermore, as Mary noted, Carpenter is far from the first person who went from being a Disney child actor to degrading and humiliating oneself and spreading scandal. Numerous individuals come to mind, including Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, and Vanessa Hudgens. Hudgens, like last I saw, she was like engaged in witchcraft. Evil stuff. Cole Sprouse, he starred in Disney's The Suite Life of Zack and Cody, made it clear that much of this degeneracy begins with the Walt Disney Company. This is what he told the New York Times back in 2022. The young women on the channel we were on, Disney Channel, were so heavily sexualized from such an earlier age than my brother and I that there's absolutely no way that we could compare our experiences. And every single person going through that trauma has a unique experience. That's right. He describes working as a child actor with the Walt Disney Company as trauma. Trauma. Because these people, they don't care about you. They don't care about you as an individual. They don't care that you're made in the image and likeness of God. You are a piggy bank for them, and they just want to use you, take advantage of you, and throw you to the side when they're done with you. And I think that is probably one of the reasons why Carpenter is engaging in this type of behavior. Sprouse went on and says, when we talk about child stars going nuts, what we're not actually talking about is how fame is a trauma. So I'm violently defensive against people who mock some of the young women who were on the channel when I was younger, because I don't feel like it adequately comprehends the humanity of that experience and what it takes to recover. So I actually really like the fact that he talks about her humanity. Again, that's kind of what I'm talking about, where she has a divine soul, supernatural soul, and she's made in the image and likeness of God. And we don't want her to be performing this way. Not only because it is creating scandal for all of these people in the audience and the people that watch her, look up to her as a role model, but mainly because she's hurting herself. She's leading herself down a very, very dark path. So what do I think we can do? I think we should pray for her, hope that someone around her or she herself realizes that she's on this dark, twisted path and repents from it. But at the same time, we also need to call this stuff out because it is an outrage. And we don't want her committing that scandal and having it be mimicked and normalized. Make sure that people know that this is not okay, that this is wrong. This is not how we should be behaving. We should not be acting like Sabrina Carpenter, and she should not be acting like that. So we pray for her. We pray for her that she repents, that she stops acting this way. But at the same time, we still have to call evil out, and we still should be rightfully outraged by it. And we shouldn't be afraid to be outraged by it. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.